hit it, smoke it till we're stupid, twisted, hit it, smoke it till we're stupid, twisted, hit it, smoke it till we're stupid, twisted, hit it, smoke it till we're stupid, smoke a.
You are now listening to a Power Requires Hustle production. What up, world? This King Kold the rapper, and I'm hanging out in the Rabbit Hole studio, baby. My guest this evening is my homie, my friend from way back. This is Big John, a.k.a. Buzz Dupp. Buzz, say what up to these people.
What up, yo?
Yeah, man. All right, so for those of you that may not know, Buzz is a professional wrestler and has been wrestling for way longer than I have. In fact, I remember when I was a kid, before, I broke into wrestling, he was working and doing an absolute phenomenal job. I've always looked up to you. I've never said this to you, so it's great that I get to tell you this now. But I've actually always looked up to you because you're just the perfect big man wrestler. You know what I'm saying? You have this great this ferociousness about you. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen you kind of lose it on a couple people that pissed you off. So, like, there's something in that, as far as, respecting somebody and looking up to them as a role model goes, But, man, I do thank you for being on the show. It's great, to have you here shooting the shit.
Oh, for sure, man. I appreciate you having me. We actually been trying to get this together for a minute. We just could never get timing right. So, like you said before we even started rolling, the universe provides.
It does, man. Absolutely, it does. You just got to kind of go with the flow, and then when stuff is right, it works out, and it really does. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So, anywho, you're actually from Tennessee originally, yes?
Yes. Born and raised in Tennessee.
Okay, so when did you break into wrestling, and what made you because fans grow up liking wrestling, but there is a turning point in every man's life when he's like, hey, I want to see if I can try that. You know what I'm saying? Do you remember what your turning point was and when you first got into it?
Honestly, I remember my first ever wrestling show that I ever went to. I was 7 years old, and my grandparents took me to a show here in my hometown. Never even, I didn't even think about wrestling, but it was something that they were doing, and I just remember 7 years old sitting in the crowd, and a guy by the name of LC Shoulders, and nobody listening is probably going to know that name or whatever, but I just remember this. He was just his character, and I just he wore overalls, and I remember that this particular night, he grabbed this dude and put him over his knee and whooped the piss out of him, and it was like, I want to do that, that looks fun, but and yeah, I guess they do, I've been a fan since then, and I had the opportunity in 2000 to start my training with a guy from my hometown, actually. I was one of those guys that got trained by a guy from my hometown, and it was off the races in mid-2001. I never looked back, so.
Nice, man. So you've been going steady the whole time?
For the most part. I've had my breaks, to where, I've taken, 10 months off or so. But, yeah, for the most part.
Well, I wasn't sure if, you had an injury or anything like that. What's been your worst injury as a pro wrestler?
Probably separated shoulder.
Oh, me too. That shit is not fun. You know what's crazy? Yeah. I was talking to Raven, and he said that he separated his shoulder, and it was his right shoulder. It was my right shoulder, and he went through all this crazy shit to get his shoulder correct. I never, got surgery or anything. I just let that shit fix itself, and I'm probably,
I took 10 months off, and that was probably the longest I'd taken off, at one point, just to kind of let it quit hurting.
Yeah.
You know, I tried to work through it, but you know, you can't. Sometimes you got to let it. You know, like I always say, your body's going to tell you, hey, stop. You know, slow down.
Yeah. And you gotta listen to yourself when in that regard, you know, whether it's your heart or your liver telling you to calm the fuck down. You know?
Yeah, most definitely. It's either that or you're gonna wind up in the hospital.
No shit. You know, if you're lucky, you get to the hospital. You know.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, everything's 20 years. And, COVID kind of screwed things up a couple years ago. And,
yeah, dude, that fucked up a lot of stuff for a lot of people. You know.
Yeah, man. Because I mean, 2021 was shaping up to be a very one of probably my busiest years, and then it just kind of said, everything.
I feel you.
All the restrictions and stuff. And,
yeah. I mean, my music company is set up as a LLC, and we are actually set up as a live production company. So, dude, we couldn't do shit. You know, my accountant was literally like, what in the fuck are y'all gonna do, with this and that? And I'm like, well, we're gonna go with a more digital sales base, and we're going to focus more on merchandise and less on performances and live events and shit. And I'm glad we did, because like if we wouldn't have made that turn when we did, it would have got ugly for us real fast.
Right, yeah. I mean, it hurt a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people had to think outside the box on how to make money. When I've been fortunate. I've been in the wrestling business for 20 years, but there was only about a 5-year window to where I didn't have as we say in the business, a shoot job. To where I solely relied on wrestling, and I was lucky then because business was real good at that time. From 2004 till for 5-6 years, the business was really good on the independent level. You can make you can make a decent living, but now, I mean, guys, the past couple of years, guys have really had to think, outside the box on how to make money. Whether it's, you got a lot of guys doing cameos now. You got a lot of guys, and you do it as well, sending merch, whatever, through the mail, through the, electronically. I mean, whatever it is, hey, you gonna pay me $50 to tell somebody happy birthday? Hey, I'm all down for it.
Yeah, no doubt. I feel you there, dude. Like, cameo is simple money. I've got a lot of my friends, that do cameos, and dude, they make a decent amount of money for a really short 2-minute video. Some of them they'll go longer, but they have their flat rate of how much time and effort they'll put into it. And it's kind of one of those things where how much effort do you really want to put into a video for somebody you don't know anyways?
Right.
I mean, you don't want to make it a weird fucking thing where that person feels attached to you, and then all of a sudden you got bitches that don't belong to you showing up at the house knocking, because you were super nice to them on a video. It's not the weirdest shit that's happened.
Right. Oh, yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so with you being a wrestler and working in Tennessee, and then you wiggled your way up to Evansville, and you were working at the Coliseum pretty steady. But I noticed that like you bounced back to Tennessee and Kentucky, and like you're kind of like a journeyman wrestler at this point. The way that you bounce around to these different areas.
Yeah, I mean, I would consider myself that because, there's a lot of guys that never go, 40 miles. We call them 40 milers. They never wrestle, no more than 40 miles from their hometown. Or
yeah.
A lot of guys don't even leave their hometown. And, but yeah, I did. I found my way up to Evansville. I'd met wrestling for NWA and Mike Porter back 2004, 2005, and up. I'd met a guy named Lone Star, and we became friends, and he was actually booking the Coliseum at the time, and he brought me in and brought some guys in from the Nashville area, and it was, and but then I decided to make the move to Evansville, and I worked there. I lived up there for
years. Like what? Like 6 years?
So, 2006 to 2012.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Me and you, we do have history. You said before that I was a guy that you looked up to, and flattering words, and I greatly appreciate them. But man, I got to tell you, and I never told. You were one of the first guys when I made that move to Evansville that stuck your hand out and said, "Hey, welcome."
Really? No shit. That's beautiful.
Yeah, but do you not remember me? I hadn't lived up there long. You got me that job at Mama Loma's.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That was the first. That was my first. That was really my first job up there.
Yeah, shit. I guess it was.
Mama Loma's, and I hadn't been up there probably for a month maybe at that time when I'd moved up there.
Yeah. Well, I think that I had met you at the Coliseum or something. Or maybe I went to watch you wrestle at the Coliseum or some shit. I don't remember. But I met you there, and then you, like, I got you a job rolling dough. And dude, you used to sit in the, and dude, it takes a strong motherfucker to roll dough all day. It really does, dude.
My forearms felt it for sure.
Fuck yeah, man. We all got beefy out of that job, you know what I'm saying? It was funny. We were working in a pizza place, and it was just cutting us from fucking rolling dough all day, you know? But, dude, working in me getting you that job was a beautiful thing for me, too, because I had just, I think we had just opened that spot. It was the Morgan location. And, I think it was the Morgan location.
It was, yeah.
No. You actually worked on the South Green River Road location with me, I think.
No, it was the Morgan Avenue.
It was
there.
the Morgan one? Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was. It's not there now. But...
No, hell no, it isn't. It's amazing how we outlived the businesses that we've left.
Yeah.
No slight against them, but if they had a solid plan, they'd still be around. You know, I'm sizzling.
At the end of the day, it was a $5 pizza. How many places had $5 pizzas back then?
Exactly.
But sometimes things aren't meant to be. So
you know what? It's cool because we weren't going to end up presidents of that company anyway. So
no. Hey, I looked at it this way. I padded my resume. I always say I rolled dough to pizza restaurant.
Hey,
so.
It's cool. It was a learning experience, no doubt. Just learning the insides of a business. And
I think the best times was the couple of hours before we opened when we always made the what we wanted pizzas.
Oh yeah, bro, the crew pizza.
Off the menu shit.
Yeah. Well, you work at a place like that for so long.
Yeah.
That, it's kind of like pizza is a lot like pro wrestling in the way where, you can have a pepperoni pizza or a basic wrestling match, and you can sell that to the mass majority of people, and they'll be like, fuck it, it's a pepperoni pizza, that's what I wanted,
Yeah.
But every once in a while, you get someone that needs, some luchador wrestling, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you gotta pile on more toppings and more spots and more craziness, and, sometimes it's more people involved,
Yes.
So, pizza and wrestling is similar, it really is.
Yeah, but I will apologize if I sound tired, man. I didn't get home to it. I was actually in Evansville last night for a show up there for Johnny Richards. And,
okay, how did that go?
We good. We're at the Metro Center, once a month, so, I think they're doing Boonville as well. So I know I believe the next show is, I'm going to get a free plug in here.
No, it's cool. Go ahead, man. Johnny Richards is the guy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. I mean, he was kind of, I mean, we kind of linked there too,
Yeah,
I mean, just,
seriously, we did. Johnny Richards, broke me in and like really showed me like, well, this is how you do this and this is how you do this, and ran me around that fucking ring to get my fat ass in shape and just
right,
motivated, and helped me come up with a character and a purpose and a
right.
reasoning for everything. Like, yeah, Johnny Richards is that fucking dude. He really is. He's a great human being. He is.
Oh yes, yeah. He's definitely a good brother.
Yeah,
So, but
100%. Like you can work at like all the other wrestling companies I've ever worked at, dude. They're not structured anywhere near what Johnny Richards thing is. Like
right,
there's just not like a long term plan involved with anybody else. But like Johnny Richards will literally plan in his brain 5 years in advance what he wants to do, and as long as like the cards fall into place the way that they're supposed to, that plan will come into effect.
yeah, yes, most definitely.
Yeah.
But back to my shameless plug. Memorial Day weekend, I think he's doing 2 shows if I remember correctly from last night at hazy times. But Memorial Day weekend, the 27th and the 28th, I believe. I'm not for sure. I know there's going to be a show in Boonville one day and a show in Evansville the next, or vice versa. But
Yeah.
Memorial Day. So for all your listeners out there, be looking out.
Were you present at the oh, you came into town like Friday night or something, didn't you?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so you didn't check out the women's show last week, did you?
No, I didn't. I've heard nothing but great reviews of it.
I heard really good shit too. Like really, really good stuff. I was mad that I was working. But like all ladies show you would think would be what most all ladies shows is. But I feel like the structure is different, and I like how some of them are set up in like a tournament bracket
Right,
set up. I don't know. I've just always liked that kind of Survivor Series kind of setup.
right. But yeah, Kayla definitely does a good job with that as well. So I mean,
Oh yeah, Kayla's great, man. Well, like when she first started breaking in, like when she first came around to be a wrestler, man, I remember just sitting on the top rope watching her hit the ropes. And dude, it's kind of funny because girls when they start out, they hit the ropes in this weird way, but then like they start to figure it out and they use it to their advantage and just spring off of the ropes. And dude,
yeah,
she'll hit the ropes like the goddamn Flash, dude. Just
yeah,
super fucking fast coming off of the middle rope, springboarding off of it. And I think it adds to her like tenacity as a wrestler. She definitely is not like a powder puff type of chick at all. You know what
at
I'm
all.
saying? Not
Right,
at
at all.
all, dude. She is one of the fucking boys. 100%, dude. Just a tough chick, man. And when she came around, I knew that she was gonna stick it out. I knew that she was just gonna become really dominant in her woman field, because not a
Yeah,
lot of girls came up like she did and have been around wrestling literally their whole life, like she had.
yeah. I mean, I remember her. When I first started coming to Evansville, we would have those hangout times after the show, and she was always there. And I mean, it was just, yeah, she's been around. I've known her for as long as I've known you. So,
Yeah, bro, and it's crazy because like you look back on how long ago that was, but it like literally seems like it was yesterday at the same time.
oh yeah, most definitely, most
Yeah,
definitely.
it's crazy.
Time definitely flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
And
I
I've had a
almost feel like time isn't real or relevant. I feel like life is more like a painting, and it doesn't matter when it's painted. It just matters what it looks like when you're finished. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right. I can get behind that most definitely.
Yeah, no doubt. So you when you started out in wrestling, did you start out as like a tag team wrestler, or were you just always a singles competitor?
No, when I first started, I was a singles wrestler. Just because I was lost, and I was just trying to find my way in the business, and learning it. And I'll be the first to admit I didn't have the greatest training. I was the bigger guy in the class, so I I know how to give a lot of moves, but taking a lot of moves, I've had to learn over the years. So I mean, but I've always been the brawler type, bruiser type. I know how to wrestle. Don't get me wrong, but I like a good fight. So but yeah.
I mean, I'm the same way. Like when we went up to me and Timmy went in November. We went to Tri-State Wrestling and had this motherfucking match that it was insane, dude. We beforehand, like, we're trying to explain to this dude that we've never met before who we are, yada yada yada, and where we came from, yada yada, and then what we want to do, yada yada. And bro, I don't know what happened at one point. I hit the motherfucking ropes and come off of it, and I stepped weird. And man, I fucking ran my face into this man's elbow. And bro, it hurts. Like, it didn't really hurt bad until after you shut down your adrenaline, and really it doesn't hurt until after you take that fucking shower. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. But anywho, so I remember sitting at my computer desk, and I ate a granola bar, and like, food didn't taste right. Like, I got my bell rung so fucking bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I've just noticed that, as I wrestle, it's happening more and more often. And it's starting to stress me the fuck out. Because, like, that's, like, a really bad sign for a lot of dudes,
Yeah.
to have their bell rung. But Chris Jericho said that he had literally had his bell rung hundreds of times. You know what I'm saying? And he's still a very competent, wrestler and human being. He does the music shit. You really, if you think about it, he's probably the most predominant wrestler musician that exists. Like,
Yeah.
probably ever. I mean, he's charting. I'm pretty sure they went gold or platinum with their last release. So,
Wow.
yeah, fucking Chris Jericho's that guy. He really is.
Yeah. I like his music. I mean, I'm
I
a
like him.
Buzz.
Yeah.
So I sing every Wednesday night to Judas when it comes out. So I mean.
Yeah, you know what? I was going to ask you, how do you feel about AEW? You like it?
I do. I mean, I'm an old school guy. I feel less is more, but kind of like you said, sometimes people want a little extra toppings. So I can dig it. I'm not a fan of everything that they do, but hey, at the end of the day, it matters to the people that's sitting in front of you. And if they're behind it, then who am I to argue with what they're doing?
Yeah, I feel you. That's really just kind of like the mentality that I've taken with it. Like, I don't want to get on Twitter and bury somebody, and then that be the hill that a motherfucker ends up dying on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
because of somebody's goofy fucking spot they did or whatever. Like, I had a situation where I tweeted Jim Cornette something, just something that I found that I thought was funny. It was a picture of it was a picture of Randy Orton, and he was picking up Kevin Owens, and like, he was acting like him picking up Kevin Owens was fucking killing him. Like, he was just had like this I'm dying look on his face because he picked Kevin up. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I tweeted it to Cornette and was just like, maybe you were right about Kevin, needing to hit weights and shit a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And bro, he retweeted that and turned it into a whole fucking huge thing. And Kevin ended up blocking me on Twitter. Like, I heard through the grapevine that because my Twitter was attached to my resume, that I was definitely not selected to work at WWE in their musical department. And it wasn't even anything crazy. I just wanted to work in their department that uploads their music to the various sites and like organizes their files and shit like that. It wasn't even like in the ring job or even like a commentary thing, you know. Yeah. It was, but dude, it was fucked up, man. I was really, really pissed off at myself for that. So like now I'm literally to the point where like I don't come at nobody about nothing. I don't argue with anyone. Shit just is what it is. If a motherfucker comes through and buries me, they do. I don't argue with nobody about shit because like it just makes me look bad on a real money level. And dude, when I'm working with buying and selling houses and realtors and shit, like and personal bankers and private accountants and shit like that, dude, they don't want to deal with, yo, I've got a problem with this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't want to deal with that type of shit. You know. Some street nonsense, you know. So like I really just had to grow up as an individual and put all that dumb shit behind me. So if motherfuckers are upset, they're upset. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you know, social media is crazy. I mean, and the crazy thing is I've been wrestling longer than social media's even been around.
Oh, no doubt you have. No fucking doubt.
I'm very thankful that my early crazy hard living fast living days were way behind me once social media did come around, because you know I'd have been canceled. I'd been canceled before I ever got started. I mean,
but yeah, here's how I feel about that shit though. You know, even the people that people say they're canceling, like all people are doing is throwing a bunch of negative fucking vibes at somebody that's already going through something. Like we don't cancel people that are like on the up and up. We cancel motherfuckers that are like in prison already. Or like they're already getting prosecuted for shit that's way beyond, oh, I wonder what Twitter thinks of me. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers got the feds up their asses, tearing apart their fucking personal accountants' fucking files and their computers and all kinds of shit. Bro, they are not worried about what fucking Karen from Connecticut feels about them. You know what I'm saying?
Always a Karen in some crowd.
Dude, I mean, that's just how it flows. You know what I'm saying? It's just how it works out, man. But look, so you worked at the show yesterday, and how did that work out for you? Like you have a good event?
Yeah, I mean this show's good. I mean I sold some merch, so that's always a good thing. So
hell yeah, dude, money's always beautiful.
Yeah, when you can add on top of the payoff, it's always a good thing. So.
Yeah, dude, I always would rely on merchandise when I was at an event because I don't know, I've had promoters that have literally like just not showed up at events. You know what I'm saying? So like the guy that was in charge had to deal with everything, and then at the end of the night money was nowhere to be found. It's happened before. Or like they would pay me but they wouldn't pay the security guards, or there was always some kind of weird shit like that would happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, I always looked at it as, man, whatever I make off of my merch table is really what I make. And if anything else comes after that, cool. But it's not a requirement for me to survive because it's not a reliable fucking thing, you know?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah, it can be fishy. Like, there was a story about a bunch of cats that went up to fucking Canada, and I think it was like 2011 or something. And the motherfucking booker, dude, he skipped out with the money. And like all these dudes were stranded in fucking Canada on temporary visas, couldn't get back home, had to bum rides from one another. Like, dude, it was just a really bad experience for a lot of those guys. And that keeps me from going too terribly far from my own house. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That,
Un-
shit like that.
yeah, unfortunately, that happens more than it definitely should in the
Yeah.
wrestling. I'm pretty sure, like you just said, I mean, entertainment business, period. I mean, it happens. You get a promoter that brings you in and, you cut your deal, and then when you get there, you just got to hope that, your money's there. And then, I always felt bad when I hear, well, I didn't get nothing. I'm sitting here with my money, but at the end of the day, you got to cut your own deal, so,
Yeah.
and you got to be willing to, wouldn't be the first time, that I've not had my money and I've went and, because every promoter that I've ever wrestled for has always had a gimmick table. Well, I'm getting my money. If I think take some of your merch, I'm getting it.
No doubt.
So, I mean, especially if we, because the way I look at it, if I make a deal with you to come in for you and, I show up and I do what I said I was going to do, then I held up my end of the bargain. You're going to hold up yours.
No doubt, yeah. I mean, dude, that's just common business etiquette. People, there's a reason why it's called a verbal contract. You know what I'm saying? And I learned at a very early business age, that you have to be careful what you say to people because they might take it one way. Like for example, I literally thought about this the other day and had no idea when it would come up where I'd be able to like talk about it, but here we are. So I had this artist that used to work for me that wanted to do this song with Necro, but Necro wanted a decent amount of money, but I felt like it wasn't it just wasn't a realistic thing for him at his level. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And like to compare it, I thought about bringing in Shane Douglas at one point to do some stuff with me. And I ended up not doing that because I felt like I wasn't really on that level to really make it worth the time and effort for everybody involved. Does that make sense?
Yes. Totally.
Yeah. Okay. No, nothing against Shane Douglas because he's always been one of those dudes that I've just felt like has been 100% underrated. I feel like he got shit on because he's like a heavier, stockier dude, and can also wrestle and work. Like he's not like a skinny little guy. You know what I'm saying? He's a bigger dude that is a tremendous fucking technical wrestler, and a great talker. So I just felt like it would be nice to work with him, but and this was probably 10 years ago, but I just decided that just wasn't the way that I wanted to go. So in that same instance, here was this kid that wanted to work with Necro and build this song and yada yada, and I just felt like he wasn't there yet. And it was also my money we was using, not his. So, when you're running a business, you have to think of things like that. Like at one point, I got a opportunity to be able to work with this producer that worked with Busta Rhymes, and I wanted to feature Busta Rhymes on something, and it was going to cost a lot of money to do it and to work it out with the producer and get everything cleared and all this bullshit. At the end of the day, it wasn't worth doing because what would I do after that? Like what do you do after you work with such a huge star if you don't have another huge thing lined up? You can't just throw everything at something and then be like, man, I really hope this pans out correctly. Because if it doesn't, then you're back to the drawing board at square zero. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like it was one of those things of trying not to get too far ahead of oneself. You know what I'm saying? And that's in every walk of life. Every aspect of business is like that.
Yes, totally. I do know. But,
So what kind of what events you got planned coming up, man? You got the Memorial Day events. Are you doing those?
Yes, I'm on. Yes, I'm there the whole weekend. I'm not for sure of any more details other than that I'm on both shows. I've got a couple shows here in Tennessee coming up next month. The 9th, I'm in Lebanon, Tennessee for Top Rope. And then the 16th, I'm in Woodbury. I'm not for sure of the. I think that's just Tennessee Championship Wrestling, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong. I'm not really for sure of the name. I just know that I'm there. So there's no,
That's tremendous.
I mean, a lot of these places they don't even have a name. It's just Championship Wrestling down here. So there's a few constants, but most of them just pop up. We call this time of year we call them income tax. And income tax shows. Guys get their income tax and they think that they can make a fortune at the wrestling business, and I can run a show. I got this much money, and then that's the situations to where guys get there. They don't understand. It takes a lot. To promote a show. I mean, yeah, social media is running wild. Don't get me wrong, and a lot of businesses do promote on social media, but wrestling is still an old school form of entertainment. Wrestling is still a get out and grassroots. Grassroots type promoting, and that's you got to put your feet on the pavement. You got to go out. You got to shake people's hands. You got to kiss them babies and hand out free tickets, and hand out posters and hang posters, and
I know that when I started out with music, my music manager James Drums at the time was like, Rich, when you talk to people, you talk to them like you're becoming the president. And I was always like, well, I want it to be a personal thing, and I want it to be real, like almost nurturing in the way that I introduce myself to some people. That way they understand, the type of person that I am, that I'm a type of person where you could take me for my word. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm an honest human being, and I want people to like to have a good first impression of me. Because that reflects my business, my music, my rental houses, my everything.
right.
It
I
really
mean, it's
does.
all about the connection. I mean, if you can't connect with a person, they're not going to buy your product. Plain and simple. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, if you're, movies, I mean, they put out that 2-minute trailer to connect with people, to make them say, "Hey, I want to go see that movie," or I mean, you're out, you're out promoting your, a wrestling show or a, concert or something. If you're not connecting with those people as you're talking to them, they're not coming.
No doubt. Yeah.
I mean, so it's all about the connection. And that's what I tell any younger guys, that ask me for advice, is you got to make a connection. I mean, you can know every move that's done on TV today, or that you're being taught, but if you don't connect with that person in that front row, they don't give two shits.
It's true.
So I mean,
True.
it's
It's got to resonate with people. It's got to they have to connect with it, and if they don't, that's why you see people turning the channel or people stop going to events. Sometimes things get stale for them, or sometimes they just fall in love with a different type of entertainment. Sometimes people stop going to wrestling shows because they have a fallout with an individual wrestler, and I think that's just a really crazy thing, But you have to connect with people. You have to build a relationship with promoters and people, and it doesn't matter if it's music or wrestling or you run a pizza place or whatever. Lifelong connections can affect you in a multitude of different business ways.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I end up asking you to get me on these shows in Tennessee, what I'm saying, you know exactly why. It's because I
Yeah,
hooked you up with the Mama Roma's job 15
there
years
you go.
ago,
There you
and
go.
I'm calling for a receipt on that.
There you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
man. But
Oh, you
okay,
got it.
do you have a Twitter? You want to plug your social media so people can follow you?
Yeah, I mean, you can follow me on Facebook at Jason Stafford, Instagram at Face Dad, and I believe the Twitter is at Buzz Dupp, I believe. Yeah.
At Buzz Dupp. Yeah, buddy. Hey, I wanted to ask you, how come you switched from using the Buzz Dupp name to the Big John uh, aspect of yourself?
Um, I'll give credit to that to a guy I'm on Ox Hartley. I had, I was buzzed up when I, got in and was that character for years, I mean, for 15 plus years, really. And, I was, uh, moved back to Tennessee. I just moved back to Tennessee and, just needing something to do, just needing getting out of the house, because I went through some, 2010, 2012 was a pretty dark time for me in my life, going through a divorce and, and everything. And, so I was in a pretty dark place and I had a guy that I helped get in the business, Jeremiah Plunkett, hit me up. He knew I was back in town and everything. He's asked me what did I have planned for a Saturday night, and I was like, man, nothing. Just need to get out of the house, but don't know what to do. And, such an hour. I mean, I live in Hartsville, and I mean it's an hour from daylight. What I tell everybody. I mean, you got to drive. You got to drive 30 minutes just to the, nearest, retail
Anything.
store.
Yeah.
Store, and, 2 grocery stores and 8 churches and, 2 red lights. But, that's small town living. But, so I rode up with him. He said he was wrestling for Ox Hartley in Maryville, Tennessee. And I was like, yeah, I don't have nothing to do. I'll ride up there with you, And, as a good veteran always does, and young guys should be doing is, jump in a car or ride with somebody, but always carry your gear because you never know when opportunity is going to be, is going to be there. I mean, I'm pretty sure you tell any of your, younger guys that you're working with, always be ready because you never know at one of these shows to when you're going to have to step in for even
And
if it's
fill
4 or
in
5.
like that 10 minutes. 100%. Yeah.
So,
Like I said,
you
same
always
business.
got to be ready, So, and I did. I had my gear with me, and I got there, and I'd known Ox for years, from being up there, at the Coliseum, and him coming in, and so he, we embraced and talked, and he asked me did I have my gear. I said, of course. And he asked me if I want to work, told me the pay was shit, but, he needed a guy and, could lead to bigger, more things. And I was like, yeah, most definitely. I mean, his exact words to me was Buzzy, man, I can buy you a Big Mac. That's about all I can do.
That's tremendous. I wish somebody gave me a
like, well,
fucking
hey,
Big Mac
fat
for
guys gotta
wrestling.
eat, so bring it on. And,
Fuck it.
that's, and, but, we were sitting down there and in the locker room, and I was dressed and didn't know what I was doing. The card come down and everything, and Jeremiah was putting it together, working it out time wise so we could keep it under 2 hours, about 2.5 hour show, and because there was a time limit on the building, you had to be out at a certain time, or you had to pay more. So, Ox is, any promoter is like, hey, let's get out of here.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're costing me money. So, but he, Big Bad John was on the card, and Buzz Dupp wasn't, and I was like, who the fuck is Big Bad John? And Ox was like, it's Buzzy. And he's like, oh, okay. I never questioned it. I was like, whatever. I mean, it's a different company. I mean, it's whatever. Buzz Dupp don't mean nothing in Maryville, Tennessee anyway. So
Yeah,
I'm just a
I
player
mean,
anyway
yeah.
at that point, at that night. Yeah, but he told me, he said, he had later, a couple shows down the road, he told me, explained it to me, because I asked him, I was like, man, not that I care, but I mean, why the gimmick change? And he said, first of all, he wants to make his own stars for his company and not rely on so many guys that already. And I understood that, and I was cool with that,
Yeah, that's cool.
And he said, and plus, he's like, Buzz, I ain't gonna lie to you, I got lawyers and I got judges for sponsors, and I just can't have that, on that name on my show. It just provides too many questions. And I was like, hey, I get it.
No, that's legit. It's sometimes like that, Sometimes a
Yeah.
promoter will be like, "Yo, keep your extracurricular activity out of my fucking building or whatever," and you gotta respect that. It's their business, bro.
I mean, like I said, I had no problem with it. A couple of guys that I've known for a while in the business, kind of told me, they were like, man, I'd never let him do that. I'd refuse to work. And I was like, I mean, man, at the end of the day, it's, that character's not me anyway. I mean, nothing, any character you do is an extension of yourself, but doesn't necessarily have to be you, tenfold. I mean, it doesn't have to be, this is me, does that make sense?
Yeah, man. People get too
hey,
like,
we're just playing,
yeah.
we're
People
just playing the
get
character.
Yeah, people
and,
get too wrapped up in the fact that like, oh, this is me as a reality, and it's like, bro, it really isn't. And when like Bruce Willis thinks that he's his goddamn character, in Die Hard, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like it like that reality becomes faded and it becomes like a fantasy of grandeur. You know what I'm
right,
saying? You don't
right.
separate the two. You wake up and you're, the goddamn strongest guy in Evansville or whatever the fuck your gimmick may be, and like you don't escape it and you can't ever like look at it from a different perspective to change something and make it better if you're so proud of it and it's so indestructible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end, it's all about that. It goes back to that connection.
Yeah.
With the crowd. It doesn't matter what name you're using. If you're making that you're connecting with those people. So I mean, I've been like, a lot of people go, well, what did you change to the different? To be different? Nothing. And change anything. I mean, there's no difference in. The character. I mean, as far as what I do in the ring, there's no difference. I mean, I'm just, using a different name now.
I've noticed the difference. I'll be honest with you, I have. Like, I feel like you in the Big John thing, I don't know, it carries itself differently. Like with the Buzz thing, it seemed like you were a lot nicer, you know what I'm saying? Like I felt like when you were tagging with Pahead John, you know what I'm saying? You guys were literally like, you might not have looked at yourselves like this, but I looked at you guys like kind of like a new age outlaw, super fucking goddamn cool tag team, you know what I'm saying? Just like a super fucking over the top cool tag team, and now with the Big John thing, it's like you're less of like a high five people and you literally have like this juggernaut presence about you where like when you're in the ring you got like this big unstoppable fucking thing about you. And I don't know, maybe you've just maybe I notice it differently, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely see you doing more power stuff. You know what I'm saying? You do body slams and and they just look really fucking snug. They look really nice, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, Buzz was always the life of the party, so to speak. He was the fun-loving guy who liked to cut up. I mean, I get that. That's a difference. It is a difference in attitude.
Yeah. But the things you do in the ring, definitely, yeah, I mean, you have your style, and it has been your style from the get-go, you know?
yeah,
You know, and I've always looked at, I didn't know that you were so new during the Coliseum time. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I had no idea that. I thought that you were like a seasoned dude, like all those guys were,
I mean,
because like when you wrestled them, everything you did was believable. You carried yourself as a professional. Nobody was ever like I remember we were in a van going to Chicago for an event. And it was that day where I hopped off at the fucking subway at the wrong spot, and like Junius had to pick me up at this fucking gas station in the hood, and he was super fucking mad, and he yelled at me, and it was like, "Don't say a goddamn word to me, Rich, or I'm gonna punch you in the fucking mouth." And dude, I didn't say shit for 5 hours because I didn't want to get left on the side of the fucking road, dude.
I forgot you were with us
Yeah,
that day.
dude, that was 100% me. Yeah, man.
Because like I rode to Chicago with you guys. We did that show for Bobo, right?
Yeah, but I didn't wrestle at the show. Remember, I went and like was sightseeing and doing bullshit with the people I was with. You know,
Yeah,
and
but see, I left. Like I went on up. Like I went to. Did we catch you on the way back down? Because, or am I thinking of a different show?
it
Because
was
I
a
know,
different
like,
show because like this event was me, you, Mike Woods,
okay,
Junius, this girl, and I can't remember. Maybe Baker was with us. Now that I think about it. Josh Jewell might have been with us
yeah. See,
too.
it's the same one. But I remember I left like me and Junius and Josh because that was a Friday show for Bobo. And then I had a show the next day that they rode up with me to. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I'm butchering it. So I do remember that. And it might have been a different show because Kamala was on that show. I had to ref. I wrestled and ref.
Oh shit! In Chicago, you did?
Yeah. Because I wrestled Tracy, and then I had to ref Kamala and Atomic Dogs match.
No shit. Kamala was at that event?
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
I was mad as fuck, man. I hopped on the wrong subway and didn't get to it, and then ended up lost, and it's a fucking nightmare. It really was.
I didn't have any, like I didn't bring any kind of pants to ref in or nothing, but I mean, I remember I squeezed into these ugly ass green skinny jeans, my 285-pound ass squeezing into some green skinny jeans and a ref shirt. The ref shirt fit, but the skinny jeans, they wasn't happening. I had cracked for days. But
well, look, don't look at it in a negative aspect because.
Oh no, I didn't because I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I was in the ring with Kamala and. And that was great. He backed me into the corner and he sat down. He backed me up to the end of I was already in the corner and he just kind of backed up to me and caught me in the corner and he just kind of sat back on me, so I thought that was fucking great. I seen him do that, Earl Hebner, so I was living the dream. I was like,
oh yeah, dude, Kamala's huge too. People don't understand how big that dude was, but like he
was such a sweet guy.
Huge big guy, yeah.
So, but yeah, man, it's been crazy the times that I forgot. People will be talking to me, and I'll have to. It's like, man, I totally forgot that you were in. I totally forgot that you were there because I mean, I did. I mean, I do remember. I do remember that because it was like we all split up. We all had different shows, and Mikey went with Bobo to another show in Michigan, and then I went, and then we all met back. So somehow or another, you got lost in the shuffle big time.
Fuck yeah, man. I hopped off of a subway on 95th and Grove and went over to this gas station and asked where the fuck I was at. And dude, I walk in there, and the attendant is behind this fucking glass that looked like it had been through World War fucking III, man. It like this glass looked fucked up, you know what I'm saying? And I asked them, I'm like, hey, where the fuck am I at? And they're like, look, you're on the corner of 95th and Grove. And I look over.
Spot, dog.
Yeah, and dude, I look over, and they literally are selling live fucking catfish at this gas station. And dude, it's like February or something. It's cold as fuck up there, you know what I'm saying? And then I get on my phone, or I get to a phone, and I call Junius. And I'm just like, yo, this is where I'm at. And he's like, where in the fuck is that? And I'm like, dude, I really don't know, but please come and get me. And bro, he was mad at me for like 2 fucking weeks. We we talked every day on the phone for like, I don't know, like 2 years or some shit, just shooting the shit wrestling wise, you know. And dude, like, he didn't talk to me for like 2 weeks, mad as fuck at me because I fucking made a long ass trip take way longer than it had to, man. I felt so bad about that.
I remember because he was drinking those ginseng shots left and right, and I was like, golly, dude, let somebody else drive before you kill us all.
Oh, dude, but dude, he was like always the wheelman because he didn't do nothing. You know, like he didn't drink at all. You know what I'm saying? He was just, he was just a straight-laced human being. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't fuck with nothing. So.
I've always been the wheel guy too in my car, but I've always been that party guy. So there were some nights I've only turned the wheel over 3 times in my life, and on a road trip. And, all 3 road trips was because I partied too hard, and I was like, hey guys, I can't. It's not safe to drive.
It happens sometimes, man. It really does.
But you just got to know when to. One particular time I turned the car over, we still about died because the dude that was driving couldn't drive at night because he didn't have glasses, and we didn't know that. So, it was one of those, we prayed all the way home,
Oh, Buzz, you need to write a motherfucking book about your wrestling life. You really do. Or do like a podcast or something. You just need to, I feel like you have like this really good presence about you, and you know a fuck ton of people do. You could do a podcast and get sponsored and start making commercials for like Blue Chew and shit and make real money. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, it's Blue Chew's great.
Well, look, when you get to the point where you don't want to fuck with wrestling anymore, man, I always got a place for you on my network. If you want to call in and do your own little podcast thing, man, I'll show you how to do it. I'll hook you up.
Right on. Shit, I'll keep that in mind. Seems like a lot of people are going into the podcast game. I wouldn't really know what to talk about. I couldn't remember half the shit.
Hell, you just need somebody to bring it out of you like I did with the Chicago trip. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was saying a while ago, is I'll be talking to somebody and then, they'll be talking to me about, I remember when you did this and that, and I'm like, I go along with it, just out of respect. But then there's a lot of times I'll just have to go, hey man, I don't, if it don't click in my head, like that, I remember you being there and that, but I remember that trip, but it was like, until we started talking about it, I didn't remember you being there.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy how that shit works, man.
Yeah. So it's, but maybe I don't remember you being there because I wasn't part of the whole him having to pick you back up deal.
maybe that's what it was, man. I know that. Man, no, I can't remember if we ended up dropping you off or not. I know that after the event, some of y'all were drinking, because I remember I
guarantee you I was.
I was probably 18 or something, maybe. Then maybe 19. I can't remember. I think I was like 19. So I definitely was not drinking. But you guys might have been a little bit now that I think about it. So who knows? You could have fucking had a few and passed out, because what in the fuck else are you gonna do for 5 hours? We didn't have no smartphones, no nothing. It was dark. You couldn't read. Fuck it.
It's like it's nighttime, so just don't kill me. Just get me home, man. I'm going to sleep.
In fact, you know what? I remember at one point somebody I can't remember. It might have been Mike. He had something happen, and he was like, "Fuck it," and decided he was gonna sleep the whole way home because he had some other shit that he had to do the next day, like bright as fuck early. So I remember he passed out. You probably passed out.
Oh, I guarantee you I did.
But I can't remember if Josh did or not. Or maybe Josh. You know what? Who fucking knows? We're all being skeptical about shit, and who knows? But I think Josh might have. He might have left at one point and rode with somebody else on the way home.
Right.
But I thought maybe that was you at one point. I don't know. Maybe we took multiple trips. Who the fuck knows at this point? It was years ago.
Right.
You know?
We're probably tying 5 trips up in one.
Dude, we really could be, Buzz, now that I think about it. Because at one point I started wrestling, and we went to Bowling Green, Kentucky, like 3 or 4 times. And that was a fucking blast. So,
yes, Bowling Green. Yep.
Dude, Bowling Green had a really sweet little like church fed thing going on there where they had like some of these younger cats, and then even at that point I was like I don't know, I was like 22 maybe then, and a lot of those dudes were a lot younger, but for some reason they were working. And some of those events were like that, where they would use their nephew or whatever the fuck on the show just to fill a spot, you know. But a bunch of those kids were hardworking motherfucking kids. And I love Bowling Green. I did, man. It was just a small, really cool place to learn some shit without having 500 people there yelling at you to like take your attention off of what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs to start small and then kind of build up from there, you know?
Yeah, because I another thing I tell, younger guys is, if you can wrestle in front of 5 people, then 5,000 people is no problem.
No doubt. It's true.
Because, those 5, because, it's easier to connect with a big crowd than it is to connect with a small crowd.
Yeah, because then you got to kind of individually, like when I work as a heel, man, I do this thing where I don't know if everybody does this or not, but this is my deal. Where, man, when I'm outside the motherfucking ring, if I'm in a shitty mood that day, bro, I will walk around and make fun of every fucking person in the front row all the way around the goddamn ring until I get in to make sure that I've offended the shit out of people. But, dude, I've stopped doing it because when I did it in November, this dude got super fucking pissed off and, like, wanted to have heat for real. And I'm like, look, calm the fuck down, bro. Like, what are you doing? You go whoop my ass in front of these fucking little kids? And, dude, I turn the corner and I yell at this kid. I get in his face. I'm like, what are you laughing at, you little loser? And he looked at me dead in the eyes like a grown-ass man. And he says, you faggot. I'm like, oh my God, little dude. He was like 11. I'm like, calm the fuck down with that negativity, bro. You were too young to be just fucking yelling that shit. But it was a good time, man. And working those small crowds, you really just develop like this aura about you, where like you walk into the event and like you just turn it on at the door. You know what I'm saying? And then when you walk out to partake in that last cigarette or whatever before you leave to go home, you turn it the fuck off. You know what I'm saying? And
gotta be a switch. I can't,
dude, I mean, I have to, and it's the same with the rap music shit. Some days I wake up and I do not want to be a musical artist that has 5,000 people following me and 500 that like my fucking kids' birthday fucking pictures. And I don't know, at some point you're just like, man, fuck, it's a lot going on,
Yeah, I've downsized my social media, honestly. I went through and, if I don't have a personal connection with you, I pretty much deleted it, deleted you, just because You know, because you never know. I mean, there's some creepy people out in this world. You
Dude,
know,
there are, man.
you know, and I mean, I like I said, I mean, I just I'm very protective over what I have, and I don't need that. You know, weird, creepy person knocking on my door out of nowhere that I have no clue who it is. You know, so
Or who she is, because that has happened too, buddy. And whoa.
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting on that door knocked.
Oh well, you know what? It can be a great thing or a really fucking inconveniently bad thing.
You know? Oh shit, you know,
Yeah. But all right, Buzz, man, I appreciate you being on the show this evening, man. It's been great talking with you, man. You were all like, "Well, I don't know what to talk about." I'm like, "Dude, we just had a fantastic episode, a great conversation, man."
I definitely like this setup. I've done other podcasts where it was, you know, question driven, and you know, like, you know, unfortunately, you know, there would be questions to where I couldn't, you know, remember stuff, and then I'd have to be like, man, I really, you know, well, you were with this company around this time. Tell me, well, I don't, you know, I mean, those times are hazy, and you know, but I don't really remember those times, you know.
I'm
so
the same way
we
with
can
that
talk
type
about
of
them.
shit.
You know, if you can talk about them, then I can talk about them. But if you're just asking me to talk about them, then you know, I'm you're screwed, because you're not going to get anything other than, you know, I may try to fumble through something, but talking like, you know, talking like this, you know, this is good, because you can just, like you said, you bring it out of people, and you're just talking, and shit remembers, and you know, so
Yeah, dude. Well, what I want to do is I want to try to find some other people to interview, just people that have interesting stories, whether it's wrestlers or artists or musicians or whoever. You know what I'm saying? So if you have anybody in mind, you know, that you think I need to interview, definitely fucking forward me through to them and let me know.
most of
Yeah.
it.
All right, well, look, Buzz, if you need anything, you ever need to holler at me, if you're ever in town and I'm not busy as shit, you know, because between me and you, I sold a house this week, and it just,
Man, heck yeah.
dude, it just made me busy as fuck, man. It was just one thing after another I had to do on top of working full time, you know,
Right.
so, you know, just try to juggle too much, you know.
You're working at Berry, was it Berry Plastics? Is that
No,
right?
man, I work through a subsidiary company that crunches plastic and,
Oh,
you know, organizes, you know, bulk material and whatnot. You know, so we actually do some work for Barry, we do some work for another company, and then we've got this other company that we do this thing where we recycle boxes for them. So like we have a
oh,
multitude of different things that we're doing, but we're a recycling company first and foremost.
right. Heck yeah.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I mean, Berry Plastics is one of them jobs, and you know, is that job in a town to where, you know, if you get that job, you got a good job. You
Oh
know.
yeah, dude. Like my job takes care of me very well. They've always been really supportive of everything that I do. If I need a day off to, you know, make a date, I can. If somebody's sick and I need to leave early, I can. They're really supportive from a family aspect, and I'm really blessed to have them in my life for real.
I work. I got a good company I work for now. That's the same way. They understand. They want you to work. They expect you to be at work and do your job, but they also understand that life happens.
Yeah, dude,
You know,
shit does happen.
and that people have a life outside of you know, your clock in, clock out job, so to speak. So
Your shoot job, son.
Yep.
All right, Buzz. Well, man, I love you, my brother. If you need something, give me a call,
love you,
man.
bro.
Get a hold of me.
But yeah, like I said, I know I'll be back in town Memorial Day weekend, so definitely if you're not busy, we'll link up.
Dude, we need to 100%. We'll go and have a beer somewhere or something. I'll take you to Toroni's. We'll eat a pizza, man. We'll have a good time with it for reals.
Hey, speaking of pizza, and I'm gonna get out another shameless plug that has nothing to do with me, but if I eat good food, I try to, you know, if I see something that I like, I try to pass it on to people. But up there, have you had Twisted Tomato yet?
Dude,
Pizza?
you know what's fucking so funny about that is the guy that owns the company I work for, the plastic company, owns Twisted Tomato.
Wow.
Oh God, how fucking funny is that? I can't wait to tell him that just happened.
they brought pizza. He brought pizza there last night.
Yeah, man. Fuck yeah. Moose brought it for you guys. Yeah, Moose is my homie as well.
You know, and I'm not a huge just cheese pizza guy. I'm one of those guys that I like some topping. I like some meat on my pizza. But that, I mean, I even said it in the back to numerous guys. You know, I was like, man, this is some really good pizza. You know,
yeah, it's off the hook, dude. It's delicious.
When I'm back in town, I'm definitely going to go see.
You know what? 100%. We'll go to fucking Twisted Tomato.
Yeah, man. I mean, that to me. I mean, I like good pizza, and that was very surprising.
Dude, it's fantastic. They know what they're doing, and like I said, the company that I work for, same dude, super supportive. So it just goes to show, like, if you work really hard and you have a great business and you support the people around you, that karma will come full circle. You know, I literally was telling you how much I love this plastic company I work for, and then you're like, yo, this awesome pizza company came into the show and hooked us up, and then lo and behold, it's the same person. How beautiful is that, man?
That's a small world, man.
Dude, it is. It's a small, beautiful world, man. God knows what in the fuck he's doing. He really does.
Yes, most definitely.
No doubt, man. But man, all right, Buzz, if you need something, man, get a hold of me, man.
Able to carve out the time for us to do this. Like I said, we've been going back and forth for a couple of months now, trying to figure out when.
Fuck yeah, man, it took forever, but it's like that when you're busy and ambitious, man. You got a bunch of shit going on, and but don't worry about it. I mean, it worked out good. It's gonna be episode 12. You know what I'm saying? We're already deep into season 2. I'm going to be working on season 3 before too long, man, because I like to keep them moving and keep content built, Right
on, but yeah, I'll definitely, when we get off here, I'll shoot you some names of guys to reach out to and have brought on,
Yeah,
so
dude, that would be
guys
great,
with
Buzz.
more interesting stories than myself. So.
Well, whatever, man. Your story worked out great, and everything's been beautiful, and I'll have you back to tell more of your story, man. We'll dig deeper into your brain and see what we could pull out of it,
Oh, most definitely. Good deal, man. I look forward to it. So.
All right, Buzz. Thank you, man. If you ever need anything, just let me know, okay?
I'll do it, bro. Appreciate it.
All right, bro.
Cherry exclusive loop. I walk through the door like a kangaroo bounces. 300 pounds plus a few extra ounces. I'm about to blow my bank account. Wife pissed off cause I spent such a large amount. Hey, everywhere I go, everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I spend money like it won't go low. Got a stack plus in my pocket, about to get drunk and I'm nauseous. Playing pool with some bad bitches, asking them all, have y'all drinking riches? If not, then you better. Everyone ages, fantasy is forever. Clever, never gonna let a lesser being bring me down. Yo, I hit harder than the space sounds boom. We march like an army, hands sway in the air like corn in a farm bee. Y'all don't wanna harm me. Shit is suicide, look alive, can't disarm me. Always gotta have my pistol, it's a lifesaver like a lifeguard whistle. Listen to the words that I say, if you ruin my night, I'ma slaughter your day. I walk through the door like a kangaroo bounces. 300 pounds plus a few extra ounces. I'm about to blow my bank account. Wife pissed off cause I spent such a large amount. Hey, everywhere I go, everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I spend money like it won't go low. I walk through the door like a kangaroo bounces. 300 pounds plus a few extra ounces. I'm about to blow my bank account. Wife pissed off cause I spent such a large amount. Hey, everywhere I go, everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I spend money like it won't go low. Video game systems, did shots at pistons. Bought a few houses down under the gutter, no rats or mouses. Video game systems, did shots at pistons. We man, now you know, I spend money like it won't go low. Video game systems, These shots have pistons. We man, now you know. I spend money like it won't go low. Hey. Video game systems. These shots have pistons.
Thank you for listening today. You can find me, King Kold, on Twitter at The Real King Kold. You can find my music on Spotify under King Kold. You can find our Power Plays podcast under our Power Requires Hustle YouTube channel, along with a smattering of unreleased music and our music videos as well. Also, you can buy our t-shirts and show support of the show at ProWrestlingTees.com/King Kold. Thank you, and we appreciate your support.